Hi guys, welcome back to the K2A podcast. We are at season 1, episode 15. The K2A podcast is a weekly episodic venture all about school days, our memories, experiences, and anecdotes about the wonderful days spent in school. So, all these weeks we've been doing topics about school, pretty fun, enjoyable sunshine topics. But this week we thought we'll do something a bit darker. So, with that, I'd like to introduce my co host for the evening, Ashish.
Hello.
So, this topic, mental health, is it's curious topic for all of us because we're all trying to understand what exactly it's all about. When we have a friend who is suffering from this kind of illness, how do you explain to him? How do you tell him that it's all okay, it's all fine? So with that, I'd like to introduce our guest for this evening, Alip Majumder from NIE. So Alip, welcome to the
Hi.
show.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to start off this discussion by saying that we thought we'll do a topic on mental health, which is essentially a very heavy topic, has a lot of gravitas to it. So when we called you for this topic, we said we want you to talk about this. What was your initial reaction?
It was the question wasn't that like unusual. Like I knew that like when Shiva called me, I knew that हाँ कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, कुछ टॉपिक के बारे में कुछ गैप होने वाला है, that.
I have a bad
It
reputation
wasn't
then.
it wasn't like unfamiliar topic. Like it was in my zone only. But since this topic is a bit dark, I was initially a bit hesitant because I didn't wanted to go back to those past memories, uh, to those dark memories, and I just wanted to forget about it. But so I told Shiva that, see, bro, I need like one day to decide. He's like, okay, fine, it's okay. I'll call you tomorrow evening. So I kept the call, and that that night I just thought to myself, maybe I am the one who got out of this, but there are many people who don't. And since I got out of this, it's my responsibility to at least spread some awareness about it, at least for people who don't know about it in much detail. So yeah, I felt responsible for this, and so I chose to step up voluntarily for this cause. And like since you guys are organizing this podcast, I thought it's a great way to express about this topic. So yeah, thank you.
Which is an interesting topic, is that there's a huge stigma around mental health.
Hmm.
Not as bad as it was, of course. Like now, I think a lot more people are talking about mental health, not just like us here. I think like big personalities are also talking about mental health and about, I think, stress and anxiety of life in general, which is making
Yeah.
mental health a lot more this thing. But I think that the topic still today is very uh, touchy to like talk about.
So yeah.
Because that's a very interesting point which Ashish raised, because a lot of celebrities are talking about mental health. So
Hmm.
the question which the reason why we wanted to get this on the podcast is because I was thinking for a few days that we're doing a lot of topics on school, but this is something which comes up randomly in conversation. I'm getting stressed. I'm feeling anxious. I'm not able to concentrate at work. So mental health as such, if I have to say the word, depression. I'm feeling depressed. A lot of these terms were not prevalent probably in the 1970s to 80s, among very few, among probably psychologists and so on. But today, when I'm talking about the 21st century and I'm talking about age groups from 18 to probably 30, a lot of people are talking about this awareness. So what has changed? Why has the awareness increased today in the 21st century? And why wasn't there awareness in the probably 20th century?
Okay. So yeah, as I was saying that, see, there are many different reasons for this. It cannot be like generalized into one particular reason. But I think the main causes are increase in population and trying to compete in a very small market. And even if you are competing, you are trying to be like there's a big cutthroat competition. So everyone is trying to be at the top. Um, so I think these are some of the factors which contributes to this exponential increase in depression. Like if you see the statistics, there has been a lot of cases where people they get so depressed they can't come out of it. So yeah, and at that time there was a connection on a human level, but nowadays people are connected to all Google Cloud.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, I think I'm not saying that technology is bad. It's really good unless if there's no regulation to technology, some form of regulation, then it can be dangerous to mental health. So yeah, that's it. I think we have lost that connection on a human level. I think we need to bring that connection back. That's really important. And yeah, like talk to one another, rather than like texting on the phone, WhatsApp or Facebook. So yeah, these are some of the points.
So like,
Also, with
hmm,
social media, people show their best side.
hmm,
Mm. Like you don't
So
see everyday struggles of people. You see what they want you to see,
correct, yeah.
which can be I don't know, uh, which can be kind of hard to take because I mean like you obviously know every living moment of your own personal life, right? You know
Yeah,
the and like most people, most of our lives are usually mundane. We're not getting up to anything amazing every second of our day. But like on social media, you see 100 different people sharing 100 different posts about them being successful, right? And that
yeah,
kind of uh, I don't know, like this internalized pressure of all these guys are doing like, all these things, whereas I'm just sitting here trying something out, but not really getting anywhere, and that kind of compounds the pressure on yourself because
yeah. Even
uh,
that, like, it amplifies that pressure when you
hmm,
see all these posts in the social media. You can't even tell whether these are genuine or fake because it's
hmm,
just a picture, right? Like
yeah.
it's just a snapshot captured in time. You just
Hmm.
can't judge the situation just by looking at the picture.
Hmm.
so the
So
discussion itself is shifting towards technology. So the reason is in the probably 20th century, there was not much of technology. There was no social media, no smartphones. Now, the thing about technology, if you agree with me, it's all about validation.
so yeah,
It's all about, someone has to tell me that I look good. And if
I
nobody
think
tells
that's
me I look
human
good,
nature.
yeah.
I think that's human nature in general.
Mm,
I think like that's why we seek friends. That's why we seek to be part of a group
mm,
because there is that scene of group validation, right?
yeah,
Like you're part of
yeah,
a group that agrees with you.
correct.
I think social media kind of acts like a echo chamber for that, if you will,
Mm,
where it kind of makes it more and more important.
mm. But social media, as it is, social media is supposed to be connecting people. But looks like what's happening is people are actually disconnected. 500 friends on Facebook, but probably just one friend in real life. So where is the what has happened? How is this related to mental health?
Hmm, I don't think it is related that much to mental health. I think Facebook friends are like overrated because like let's be honest, like people you know on social media are not like people you know,
Hmm.
right? Whereas in real life you can actually know people and talk to them, understand them, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I think maybe social media has because you have that Facebook may 500 friends thing. It kind of like I don't know how to phrase it, but maybe allows for comparison.
Hmm.
Right, you have 500
yeah,
friends on Facebook, but not even 10 friends in real life. Whereas before that, you did not have that 500 Facebook friends. So if you walked up to someone and said, "Hey, these are my 10 friends," so be like, "Oh, okay, cool. You have 10 friends." But now if you go, "These are my 10 friends," like only 10 friends. You have 500 on Facebook. Only 10 friends in real life. Really? Like
Yeah.
what is happening here? You
Yeah.
know. So I think that maybe has been introduced.
Uh,
so yeah.
for me, on a personal note,
So yeah, like yeah, that's what like in social media, always people are trying to be on the top. And
mm,
if you have noticed one thing, in social media, nobody will post their like worst times.
yeah,
Like,
Hmm.
hey guys, I'm very depressed. Hey, look at me. I'm drunk and all.
Yeah.
They will try to be like they'll try to show off something just to feel better.
Yeah.
I think people want to I think I want people to realize that it's just a virtual world.
Mm.
Hmm.
So just use it in a productive way. Uh,
Correct.
like Facebook, like you said about Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is a really great app about interacting with people, connecting with new people. But if you use it in a good way, like you want to learn about something, you want to connect with someone who is an expert in some field,
Mm.
absolutely like amazing. Like, um, but if you are not using in that way, if you are chatting randomly with random people around the world whom you don't even know, then I think it's a complete time waste, and it will slowly you won't even realize this. That's the most what can I say,
Mm.
amazing part. You won't even realize that you are actually getting pulled into this depression thing.
Correct. But
Slowly, and one day it will just like click. Like, everything will fall apart. Like it's like a building a card house, right? House of cards.
mm.
One day it will all just fall down in an instant. So that breaking point, that really hurts. Most people lose it at that point of time. Yeah.
This social media, probably WhatsApp, for example. Whenever we go for dinner, so I go regularly with about four guys. So what happens is when we're sitting down for dinner, everyone whips out their phones and starts checking something. I've asked them directly on their faces. If you really wanted to check your phones, then we should have stayed at home and gone separately for dinner. Why are we sitting together? And what is so important that you have to check your phone immediately?
Like you said, you check your WhatsApp, then you check some other site, right?
Yeah,
So it happens with me also. Like if I'm studying and I'm not understanding a concept, I'll go to YouTube, I search for that concept, but then I catch a glimpse of a new trailer. That's some new movie, some sci-fi movie or something. So I want to see that first. But I did not go to YouTube with the intention of seeing that trailer.
mm,
So I think this is what social media does. It attracts you to things uh, that are not relevant at the moment.
mm,
Also, I think look at how much is already there in our phones,
mm,
right? I mean, like you and I met recently, right? And you brought a newspaper, right? In case I was late, then you'll have something to read, right?
mm, mm.
That is now in your phone, right? And
Right.
if you want news, it's on your phone. If you want to watch the score, right? Like how many times have you gone to a hotel where people are watching the TV screen there? So, for example, if there's a match going on,
Mm.
how many times, like if you and your friends say go out for dinner, how many times do they then look at that TV and
Correct.
they're like, oh yeah, the match is going on. Again, you can do that on your phone,
Mm.
right? And I think before also, like you couldn't talk to all your friends on your phone, but now you can,
Correct.
right? I think
Yeah.
there's so many different things all in the same place, which is why like we're watching our phones so much because there's so many different things before that are now all in one single place.
Mm. So the discussion is moving from like technology, like what the role technology has to play, but what is the
Mhm.
role in technology in mental health? Because the causes of uh, it's not is mental health or depression mental illness? I'm not sure, but what is the cause
Depression is a
of
mental illness, yeah.
it is a mental illness? I
Hmm.
mean clinically, because I'm not
Yeah.
very sure about the term. So depression, why is it caused? Why does it happen?
You mean
Wait.
what is the role of technology? Or
Not technology essentially, because for example, if you see our parents' generation, the resources they
hmm.
had at their hand were very less. I'm not talking
True.
about just monetary. I'm talking about opportunities and whatever. But today, youngsters today, 2022, they have everything at their fingertips. You want something, you
Hmm.
need a job, you need some updates, you want the score, you want to learn something, it's all in your hand. So, with having so much, why are
Hmm.
people still depressed?
I don't think it. First of all, I think we have to like draw a line between depressed and depression.
Okay.
I think depressed is a feeling of sorts. Like you can feel depressed, you can feel sad. I think depression is a mental illness.
Mm.
I think
True.
that's like I mean we all have days where we feel really down, where we feel depressed, but that in and of itself is not depression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depression is more of this sort of I think extended period of sadness where you don't feel like you're worth it.
Mm.
Exactly. Yes.
But if So you're telling me that if I have a low day and I'm feeling low for about 4 hours, 5 hours, and the same
Yeah.
thing continues tomorrow morning, am I depressed or am I just low?
Again, like this, like the the thing with mental illness or indeed any illness is that it will not be responsible for me as someone that has just experienced it to like go and say you are depressed or you are not depressed. And I think mental health in and of itself, again, as you mentioned, there's such little research on it that whether you have depression or not, it's diagnosable by a doctor, like by a professional doctor.
Hmm.
I think I don't know because you can have 2 days where you're sad,
Yeah.
right? And you can have
Yeah,
an
like
entire week where you're sad. Like for example, if it's your school exams, you're kind of sad throughout the week. You're
Yeah.
kind of sad throughout the week of the results,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can have weeks where you're sad. I think depression, it's I don't know, man. Like it's difficult to
It's difficult.
distinguish
I know.
between
Yeah. Yeah.
sad. Yeah.
you might just have a bad day. No,
But
but what
Also,
I think are the main causes, yeah, like Ashish said, you can be depressed for 1 to 2 to 3 days.
hmm.
Um, then, like you said, you should get it diagnosed completely. Yeah, and that's a really good point. Most people don't even approach the the psychiatrist. They should definitely, like, if they're feeling any kind of, if they feel that they're not feeling comfortable, definitely they should go straight away.
hmm.
So most people can't do it because they they don't have that power. I should say
Hmm.
they will be thinking what people will think about me. Um,
Okay.
so
And I think most people don't tell their friends even because they think, oh, well, this is just me being sad. So I don't know if I want to burden my friend with this. I want to tell my friend, like, maybe I'm just having an off day.
Hmm.
And they don't even tell anyone, you know?
That's
yeah,
that's the tough part because essentially friends, you meet them, if you meet them every day, then you're going
Hmm.
to assume that they're going to tell you everything. But there are obviously small changes in behavior which you notice, but then you don't really take it to mind.
Yeah.
Probably, this could be the cause of, he's going through something, he needs to talk to somebody. And guys are like this. Guys are like, I don't worry, I don't worry too much. It'll just
Yeah.
go away. It's like a cold. They talk like that.
Hmm.
Essentially, you just give him
yeah.
kick
It
him
It's
one or
such
two
a
happened
times
with
and he'll be
horrible
fine.
attitude
one
to
with
have.
Shiva.
Huh?
I mean, it happened with you and me.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, no, I know one guy. He's like, give him one or two kicks, he'll be fine. That's that's the way guys talk. So uh, to talk to a group of guys about this, it's tough because they really don't understand what this is about. But
Hmm.
probably yes, like you said, therapists, psychiatrists will probably because
But
if
yeah,
you,
I would like to add one more point. Like,
mm,
but if you have a really dedicated small friend circle, you can definitely share. Like I should have shared with you when
mm,
I was suffering depression and all.
mm,
Shiva was there. There were many other, not many other. I would say like 4 or 5 more. So our friend circle is very small. But the beautiful thing about our friend circle is that we trust each other, we respect each other. If someone gives an opinion, we listen to it carefully, then we give our opinion. So I think a really good friend circle is really important.
but
So you can
I
definitely share your viewpoints there. And yeah, yeah,
I want to add to this point since you mentioned this that Alip never mentioned about what he was going through. He never talked about it, which was fine because you cannot really talk about it. The second thing is we started
No, which is
noticing.
which is what people think that you can't really talk about it. But trust me, just talk to your friend about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like
See, if we have to judge you, we have judged you on the first day we met you. Okay. It's not that we're going to judge you anymore. We already judged you. It's fine. But the thing about Alip is he used to come with dinner to us. And then we realized that his eating habits have changed completely.
yeah.
The intake of sugar was extremely high.
Hmm.
Probably we didn't know, we didn't understand, but we just noticed that his eating habits had changed, his sleeping habits had changed, and all that. And he used to do all kinds of artwork at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
yeah,
Feeling low, yes, definitely. Everyone feels low. Everyone has a bad day. but coming out of it is important, right?
Coming out, yeah, many people can't. That's what I said in the beginning. Many people can't
And
come out, they can't share it.
also, I think with mental health or depression, anxiety, anything, I don't think it's about coming out of it or like dealing with it. I think it's more of learning how to live with it
Hmm.
more than it's like because and the difference between mental illness and physical illness is that you can cure physical illness.
Hmm.
I don't think you can necessarily cure mental illness or anything. I don't know about others. Like if there's anybody who's listening to this who has anxiety or depression or anything like that, have you guys learned to cure it, or do you guys learn to deal with it?
Hmm. I think we
Maybe, yeah, I think maybe by
deal.
cure it, you mean like reduce that suffering.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Like if there's a psychiatrist, then you can definitely I would definitely recommend
Hmm.
at least going to a psychiatrist, because I think most people who suffer from mental health are like, I think the reason is that number one reason is that they are lonely.
Hmm.
Like it's only them and their own mind.
Yeah.
So if they can find someone they can talk to of the same mindset, it would be really really beneficial.
I would still say that people in cities and metropolitan areas are the most lonely because we talk so much about social media and all those things. But if you go to a village area where everybody knows everybody, you go to somebody's house, they'll help you. Uh, Hand on heart, tell me, guys, if you have a neighbor, do you know them by their name?
Okay, so on that topic, 2 points. One, yes, you're right. Like physical human contact is less, which as I think human beings, we are animals that crave physical contact, and the fact that we can get our work done over a phone or over a messaging app, rather than having to meet people, definitely reduces physical contact, and that kind of does lead to us feeling lonely.
That's
But
a
I think
beautiful point. Yeah.
yeah, I think secondly, it's that going back to the previous point that we made, like how people show their best side on social media. People also show their best side in real life.
Hmm.
It's just that we don't really notice it much.
Hmm.
Whereas, like again, in city, because we're all on social media, it's kind of in your face.
Hmm.
Because people are showing up in showing their best side and showing their best part of their lives everywhere.
Yeah.
It just kind of falls in our peripherals. Like we can't really see them.
Hmm.
Whereas on social media, it's right up in your face.
Correct. But I've noticed in social media, everyone wants to celebrate every small thing. I ate a cupcake. I took a bath. I'm taking towel. Why
That's
you?
how,
I woke up like this today morning.
Yeah.
yeah, that is how the various apps do market themselves, though.
Hmm.
Right? Facebook kind of markets itself as a place to share memories.
Yeah.
Instagram is like, this is where you take your photos. This is where you're
Yeah.
happy. And Snapchat is like, share your moments and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think social media kind of drives this message that if you're on our social media platform,
Hmm.
you have to be happy. Like that's what this is for.
Yeah.
And I think the purpose of social media now has kind of evolved.
Hmm.
I think before it kind of used to be like, oh yeah, let's have some fun. I just want to go on Facebook and have fun. Now it's almost become like I get my news from Facebook. I get my math scores from Facebook.
Hmm.
My friends' birthdays are mostly from Facebook.
Happy birthday. How would you know? Oh, Facebook.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have an interesting story about this topic. So I'd gone to Bangalore, and that day I had to go out for some work. So I just took my brother's bike without his permission. Full tank, took it, and I just drove to Jayanagar, cool joint. I sat there. It was a beautiful weather. I sat there, ate sandwich, went somewhere else, ate another sandwich, and came back. And that day, I still remember that day, I was the happiest. I told my mom, I'm feeling very happy. She just looked at me in a very weird way because I have never said this to her. That's point number one. Now, why is this coming in context? Because we're talking so much about happiness today. What is happiness? Happiness didn't really mean anything when we were probably in 10th standard or 8th standard, where every day was happy. Every day was somehow good day. But once the smartphone has come into our lives, We've really lost the art of laughing, art of actually feeling happy internally. That internal happiness is not there. When I said I felt happy, I genuinely felt that because I didn't felt that in a long time.
I don't think it's necessarily smartphones that make you unhappy,
Yeah.
or that smartphones lead to people being depressed or anything like that. I think it's more I think it's more internal than external. I think smartphones act as vehicles for that, maybe in again in ways that we've already discussed. But I don't think it's like, oh yeah, smartphones were here, that's why we're depressed. And before, none of us were depressed. I think. Plus, in your case, right, talking about how in eighth standard, seventh standard, you were really happy. There's been a big change from eighth to now. It's called puberty. Right?
See, it's not about physical change. I can attest for myself and say that I was I
Puberty
really
is not physical though; it's physical and mental.
no see it's not about the biological change. I really enjoyed life until 10th when I me and my brother shared a Samsung Guru smartphone, the the snake game, that one, that
Hmm.
kind of phone, right? Once the
Hmm.
smartphone came, because I needed it, because it was a necessity of the hour,
Hmm.
I cannot say for sure that I have enjoyed every day after I had a
Hmm.
smartphone, because everyone wants me to be available every time. For example, just the other day, we have a
Hmm.
group, we have a something. So I sent a message and went offline. I checked the
Hmm.
group. Probably 10 minutes later, there are 20 messages, and then
Hmm.
one guy calls me, Shiva, why didn't you check the group? I said I had some work. I went offline. Like, no, always
Hmm.
keep your phone online. So people want you to be online every single time. They want your time to become theirs. So I cannot
Again,
say
is
for a
that
fact that no.
again though? Is that social media or is that just growing up and having more responsibilities?
See, responsibilities, people want you to be responsible every minute of the day. How's that possible?
Yeah, but as a kid, that wasn't expected of you, right?
See, but that's the question, right? That's the question I asked in the beginning. That today, the mental illness among our age group, 18 to 25 at least, has
Hmm.
increased so much that people want you to be updated every time. You have to be on Facebook. You should know where your friends are. You have 20 WhatsApp groups. And you tell
Also,
me,
I think, yeah, there's one more. I think people underestimate themselves a lot these days.
mm,
Like they feel they are powerless or hopeless. They shouldn't underestimate themselves. They should feel that they are more powerful than they think they are.
yeah,
And the best way to come out of it is to like make some notes
yeah,
before starting your day and just like following that, just focusing on today. That's it. And
yeah.
yeah,
See, the brain was not designed to multitask. Now, I today I was just sitting in the
and
browsing
yeah,
center.
I just wanted to add one more point that phone thing. I think people try to show off on the phone because at a time when their uh, their real life or in reality they're not getting much results or they are not doing some productive work.
Hmm.
Maybe they are trying to do but they are failing multiple times. So then what they do, they need to find a way, right, to like throw themselves off because nobody wants to be like nobody wants to be at the down.
Hmm.
So then the only way out of this is social media.
Yeah.
So then they'll try to project themselves as some kind of big celebrity. But you have no idea how much time it took for those makeup, for setting up the background, for that posture, for editing, then putting on social media. So there are a whole lot of team involved.
Just on a side point, and apologies, you talked about how there's a huge increase in the number of mental health cases recently going up. Right? I also think
Yeah,
there's been a huge increase on research done on mental health. I think you look at the early 20th century, all the way up to 1960, 1970, we were focused more on physical health than on mental health.
yeah, yeah,
Like it was your, of course, your basic diseases, right? Your smallpox, your cholera, chickenpox, all stuff like that. and of course World War One, World War Two. So I think up until the 60s or 70s, I think the focus of medical research was more on physical health rather than on mental health. I think since the 70s, since the 80s, there's been more studies done on mental health, and it has made it a lot easier to recognize if someone is mentally ill than before, which has made it, of course, easier to access people who can help you with that. Which is why I think there's been a huge increase in the. I think it partially is the reason for the huge increase in the number of cases of illness.
Yeah, so, and even the medical research done on this is, like you said, it's like increasing exponentially over the past couple of years. They're finding new ways to figure out whether someone is suffering or not. So yeah, like there are boon and ban to everything. But the boon is that obviously there are a lot of research done. Now you can figure out easily whether someone is suffering or not. The ban part, the worst part is that people don't, unless they are trying to like show up somewhere in a hospital and say that yes, I have this condition, please help me, or like tell someone, then it's really hard. Like no matter how much amount of research is done. So people need, I think the main point I'm trying to say is that people need to communicate. That's it.
Okay. So to kind of round up the discussion, because whenever a person feels low, you are your worst enemy, right?
Oh.
Whenever you're low, you really feel that the world is a bad place and all kind of negative thoughts. So to get out of this, Alip, so to start off with you, what would you suggest to get out of this phase, this very negative phase?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question, Shiva. The only genuine advice I would like to give to all the people who are listening to this is that you should always keep yourself busy. Busy and as in like doing some productive work that is going to benefit you in some way in the long run. So don't like take busy in the wrong way, like watching YouTube videos or browsing through Facebook or something. So you should be doing something productive. That should be your main priority every single day. And also, yeah, you can make a list of things to do just before going to bed, and just focus on completing all the points that you wrote on that list the very next day. That's it. That should be your what should I say? That should be your agenda.
Okay.
So if you keep doing this, you will gradually see that your depression level is coming down. And also, I would like to suggest that if you should run. I mean, when you wake up in the morning, you should definitely go out for jogging. Like this has helped me a lot. Like, when I was depressed, all my psychiatrist she told that Alip, from now on you have to exercise. I mean, like rigorous exercise.
Okay, so Ashish, what are your thoughts? If you were in such a phase, how would you get out of it?
I think the first thing is don't try and like deal with it as in cure it. Mental illness isn't physical illness. You won't be able to like get rid of it. Like you won't just wake up suddenly and then just not be sad. I think it's more of a long-term process to try and live with those thoughts, learn how to deal with those thoughts, rather than try and cure yourself of depression. I think Alip's point is very, very valid. Try and get some physical exercise in if you can. Again, it's not a cure for mental illness, or it's definitely not a equivalent substitute for a psychiatrist, but it definitely helps. Physical activity helps to produce more endorphins in your body, and again, it elevates stress essentially.
Okay.
So if you cannot afford to go to therapy or anything like that, talk to a friend, get some physical exercise, and yeah.
I would like to add one more point. This is the last I just covered about this. So, if someone is suffering from mental health and let's say you are afraid to do something, let's say if you are afraid to give a public speech, your priority should be give more speeches. Like, in spite of that fear, you should give more speeches.
So if I have to, parrot what these guys said, get into physical activity, because I think that's I've felt low many times, but whenever I feel low, the way I counter it, I just go for a run. I just keep running, or I go play badminton, and I smash the shuttle on the opponent's face. So when you do that, all the
Don't don't physically attack people.
no, don't physically attack people.
That is not a way to deal with depression or
Essen-
anxiety or
Essentially,
any other form of mental health.
what you have to do is you have to convert this negative energy into positive energy. So tire yourself out. This is what I tell everybody, whoever I meet. The second point would be essentially talk to people. I would say talk to people. You have a problem, talk to some senior who you know very well, or talk to a junior who you can chill. Talk to anybody, talk to somebody. That's very important. Don't be a recluse and I'm going to be with myself, I'm going to be stuck in my room for 2 weeks. Don't do that. And the third thing I think is, this is again a personal opinion. We differ on this, right? I would say reduce your smartphone time, because the more you're connected with reality, I think the more happier you'll be. So, so that I think we can conclude this episode on mental health. I wouldn't say it's been very dark. I would say it's been, a bit
Somber.
of both, a bit of both. Happy,
Yeah,
dark. Thanks, guys, for listening in. It's been great. So hopefully, you've been listening to this episode and you've got something new out of it. Hope you can implement that in your life. So, Alip, thank you for being on the show. It's been great.
yeah. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
So, we hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope nobody got offended. If you have any points that we missed out, let us know.
And thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon if you're on YouTube. Follow us on our other social media platforms like Facebook, Reddit, etc. etc. Like and share the post on all of our social media pages. If you have any topic that you would like us to talk about, there is a link in the description on YouTube and on all of our social media pages. If you would like to be on the podcast and talk about any issues with us, then there is a link for that in the YouTube description as well. There's also links for that on all of our social media pages. Once again, thank you very much for watching and goodbye.
And good night, guys. See you next time.